And we are now live. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Medyo it's a different time zone for me right now because I'm doing the live vidcast at this moment because we have someone also that we have invited. Normally they work at night, so I just want to make my schedule adjusting based on what their time zones are. I can hear a frog. It's a bullfrog, I suppose. I don't know if you're hearing it from my background, but it's kind of I know exotic in the thing, no. Anyways,
Yeah.
I just want to read. I want to read first the profile of our guest for tonight, so that everybody would know who you are. So I'm like her mom already. She's half of my age already. So I'm happy to interview someone who's younger than I am. I'm only 18, by the way, so don't worry.
Yun.
Diba? Okay, she started her home-based career as a virtual assistant 5 years ago. So you can
Mhm.
compute. I won't do it. And provided assistance to several different clients working in different industries such as real estate, investments, and property management. You started at a very young age, huh? She have
Yeah.
mastered working remotely, and the key to this is good communication and being organized. She always take notes, keep a clean workspace. Really? Let me
Yeah.
see.
I'd
Hmm,
rather not now because I did extra
I know.
preparation for this vidcast, so I
No, no
kind of messed
worries.
it up.
No worries. I understand that. Don't worry. I understand that certainly. And she uses series of tools to help her stay on top of her deadlines. After working as a virtual assistant, she was promoted to a trainer position, and I think that's what she's doing right now. And during her time, she have already mastered the fundamentals of working as a virtual assistant and taught this to other aspiring VAs to help them be more successful in their career. She is now part of the operations as HR manager. Correct me if I'm, is that
I'm
correct?
I'm actually the operations manager for HR
Oh,
training and marketing right now for the VA Hub.
she just made the slight correction there. So that's her position right now. And she is able to extend her help to more individuals who wants to jumpstart their VA career. Diba? Ang haba lang ng profile niya. Half of my age yung profile niya. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our partners in our community, the VA Hub Inc. Let's welcome LA Garcia. Hello, LA. Please
Hello,
greet
hi
our
everyone.
millions of viewers here.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we are now live at Wish 1075. Joke. This is the Philippine Home-based Virtual Assistants community, and thank you so much for joining with us tonight. And we hope you're going to learn a lot of things in our discussion. And this is something that we normally do because, as you all know, it's an advocacy of our community to educate a lot of aspiring and experienced VAs on how we can improve ourselves continuously and not be complacent because we know this, we already know this. We have to really push ourselves always. Okay, so that's why we invite all of our agency partners so that they can introduce their values, their company, who they are, how can we be able to work with them. Of course, a lot of people have been applying to VA Hub. I am one of those. With a sad face. You know what it means. I understand and I give highly respect to your hiring process. And that also pushed me to really assist a lot of our members in the community on how they can really improve their skills. No? So let's start with the question and answer. Are you ready, LA?
Yes, very much.
There is no wrong answer. I'll give you a star for every correct answer.
Yun naman pala.
Yeah, you have a star. One star for correct, two stars for very, very good. No joke. It's just I just want to make this conversation very light so that people can,
Mhm.
can feel us. So the first question that I would like to ask you, LA, what do you think? Why do you think professional people, those are working from the company, are now shifting to becoming a virtual assistant, or why do they want to start a career from home?
Yeah, I have listed here the top three reasons as to, well, because we asked this of our applicants as well. So I got the top three reasons as to why they're doing the change. But for me, when I did the change, I did it like I told you, I did it fairly young. I was 24 years old when I
Mm.
started becoming a virtual assistant. It was really just because I was fed up with the traffic. Um, at that time, I was working in BGC and
Oh
I
my
live in
goodness.
Quezon City. So the commute that
Oh
I had
no.
to do,
I
yes,
feel
it was really hell.
I feel
I lasted 2 years uh, at that company, and I did that every day. I did the 5 hour commute every day, and it takes away from you, you know. Um,
yes.
so yeah, number one reason really of why they're doing the change is to avoid that traffic. So
No one wants to
uh,
be stuck for 2 hours
yeah,
in the road, right?
yeah, because you don't have a choice. You have either C5 or EDSA. That those are your only choices.
And
And
this is probably the reason for getting affected in terms of productivity, right? It
yeah,
affects you in terms
definitely.
of productivity.
hmm You leave your home with so much energy, and that but you come into work after the 5 hour commute with just half that. And
Correct.
so yeah, the number one reason is really to avoid that traffic. Next is the virtual assistant industry pays better. So
Now
yeah,
you're
so
giving me a better idea
yeah.
of what you're what you're receiving, huh?
No,
Okay.
but when I started out, it was a lot higher than what I was than what I was getting when I was in the call center industry. Um, when I got my first pay as a virtual assistant, um, I had to uh, stuff it in my bag really quick because I wasn't used to having that much sort of cash in my hand,
Wow.
so I had to push it
Are
down.
you listening, guys? Are you listening?
And that's when it really clicked that wow, this pays a lot because I wasn't really that wasn't my main goal as to what why I was making the switch.
Mm-hmm.
I really just did it because I was tired. I was done with the commute. I said I'm gonna make it. Gonna find a way to make it work. Then I'm working from home. So that was it.
Exactly.
And the next is, I guess, more time with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the three main reasons: higher pay in general, avoiding the rough traffic, and more time with your family. This is very popular for our applicants who are single mothers or just mothers in general. Um, Even fathers who are tired of not seeing their kids grow up in front of them. They do
Mm-hmm.
the switch because they want to see them grow up. Um, Other common reasons that we get are they have a better handle on their time.
Mm-hmm.
So as a virtual assistant or when you're working from home in general, you have um, it seems like you have more time in your day, and that's because you don't do the 5 hour commute anymore. And
Yes.
so they have better handle on their time. They get to send off their kids to work or do make breakfast for them. um, Next is there are versatility in terms of tasks. Very seldom would you be stuck with a single task for a majority of your career. Like, for example, if you, I'm not putting down the call center industry. I was there for two
Yes, yes.
years.
I
It's
understand. Don't worry.
it's just that
It's a
sometimes
routinary thing.
it's a routinary thing. There is still there's still some routine that comes into when you become a virtual assistant, but because
There's always
uh,
a challenge, I would say.
yeah, it's because the VA career is it's exciting, it's mobile, it's very challenging. So
Yes.
those are the most common reasons why they do the switch.
Yes. You know what? I just want to ask you this. Did you start your career as a VA with the VA Hub already, or you worked with some other companies before the VA Hub? You cannot you can mention, or you if you feel like not mentioning it, that's fine.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm good friends with the people there still. But
Okay.
I was with a different company before. I was with my outdesk, and
Mm,
they
okay.
took care of me really well. I was that was when that's where I started becoming a virtual assistant, and then I became a trainer there too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that this opportunity came up where I'm able to extend my reach to other people and also you know, it's just there are a lot of people that um, that think that when you change companies that it's always in bad blood, but it's really not.
No, I don't
It's
think
just
so.
that
Yeah.
that's where I started. They taught me a lot of things.
Yeah. You
I
have to look
guess I'm
back.
able to, yeah.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you also have to learn is don't burn the bridge now because you will never
Hmm.
know. Do not burn
Oh
bridges.
yeah, in
Yes.
this
I, I,
in the
I just yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry. I
oh
have this
yeah.
new recipient. I mean, I didn't receive you're saying something already. Go ahead.
Oh right. So um like I was saying earlier, it's really you can't burn bridges when you're in this type of career because it's still fairly small, and so you run
Mhm.
into each other. um and so that's why I chose not to do that. Also, I'm not that kind of person who just for, you forget that you're friends because you stop working together. So yeah.
We keep professionalism. No, we always
Hmm.
be professional in everything that we do. I just want to segue a little from the questions that I have.
Hmm.
You mentioned that you were working in the BPO. This is very common, especially right now. I do training
Hmm.
for aspiring VAs,
Hmm.
and it's part of an advocacy. The reason why I'm doing that is because I believe that we still need a lot of qualified VAs. You mentioned you were working in the BPO office, now
Hmm.
call center style of setup. When you started as a VA, how was it? I mean, the shift from being a call center agent, or what I'm not sure if that's your position, but from the call center industry and then being a VA, not having an idea of, being a VA, because this is a common problem of most who wants to start their career as a VA. They're
Hmm.
being asked for an experience as a VA from a previous work. So how did you transition to that? How was were you challenged? What was your problem during that time? And how did you manage to shift from the call center to becoming the VA?
Yeah. So how I did the switch was I when I started my VA career, when I started applying, I wasn't really looking for to be a virtual assistant, but I was looking for a home-based job, any other
Mm.
home-based job. Um, and in terms of the skills that you apply, I guess the thing that helped me, and yet yes, I was a call center agent before. The thing that helped me a lot was that when I started becoming a virtual assistant, the bulk of my task was also I was an inside sales agent. So it's an ISA.
Mm.
Um, so it is a voice account, and you still do calls, and
So you
your
leveraged on that.
yeah, I leveraged on that a lot because um, it, y- having the ability to withstand high number of calls per
Calls, yeah.
day, per
Yes.
hour per day, um, is what helps you uh, to build on that career because not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can withstand doing calls for a bulk of their day. But since
Yes.
I was just doing it at home, and it was a lot less stressful than what I was doing before, so I was doing a lot better. So that's why when I became an inside sales agent, I did fairly well. Um, they also when I transitioned also, so I started out as an inside sales agent, and then um, real estate investing it's sort of like a shift. It's also like being an inside sales agent, but what you do is you don't do appointment setting. Um, so you don't set up appointments and things like that, which is the bulk of your work as an inside sales agent. But you still do calls. It's just that it's more of to help my client with his real estate investment um,
In
type of
terms of
work in
sales.
this industry. Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of his sales, yes.
Yes. I asked that because most of the BPO call center, what do you call this, professionals, I would like to say, they're really challenged, or it's really difficult for them to really find their niche, or find their
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that they want to do, because exactly they're looking for a home based. They're not specifically looking for a virtual
To
assistant.
be a virtual assistant.
How was your transition? Yeah, I also
Hmm.
started from when I was working in the company. I started searching for home based work or work from home too. I'm not familiar with the virtual
Hmm.
assistant, but nowadays, we are here, especially you, the companies. You're already educating a lot of potential or aspiring clients or candidates rather. But then again, I think there's a mis communication, or there's a lacking in terms of skills and understanding and
Hmm.
comprehension. So I feel like these people, these candidates really have to step up and find what you think you are best at, because that's exactly what's going to land you or to help you land a job that you want to, if you want to start a career from home. So please take note of these tips, this tip that LA provided you with, because it's really
Yeah.
something that I always, it's common question to me. Sorry. So it's a common question to me. So that's why I asked that to you, so that they can actually have an idea how they can also transition. So thank you for answering that, LA.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the next question. How do you evaluate candidates who are applying to your agency?
Okay. So, um, like in any company, we start with paper screening, or in our
Mm,
case, it's more of an evaluation, paper evaluation, since uh, we don't really screen people at the on this stage yet. So this is just for us to let us know if the person that we will be interviewing is experienced, has good writing skills, has good eye for detail. But of course, this is not foolproof because there are other people who get their resumes made. Um, so yeah, it's just it gives us sort of like a ballpark figure of what their writing skills are in general. Um,
and you provide tests for this, for this, right? You provide a
no,
test for them to.
no, we don't
You
provide
don't
tests. We just we ask them to submit their
evaluate.
resume, and then
Okay.
we evaluate the actual resume and what it contains.
Okay. I just want to read some of the
Hmm.
comments here. Wait a minute. Denmark Jan Artagame or Art. Yeah, sorry if I'm murdering your last name. Good evening, he says. Madeline Yop, good evening. Lenny Marie Kabake, hello. Ja Rhea Lida, great topic. Marian Villanueva, I know who
Hmm.
she is. Hello,
Yeah.
Marian. Sheila Amon, good evening. Here is a nice one. I hope to join the VA Hub from at Pagrigan. Well, listen to our topic, our discussion, because I think you can get an information from LA on how you can be a part of the VA Hub Inc. So number
Yes.
three, third of our question is, what do you think of the candidates who do not follow instructions, and how do you think you can encourage them to improve that way?
Yes. If you want to be a successful virtual assistant, you need to know how to follow simple and complex instructions that are left to you. So that is also the same reason why we test for this ability during the training period at the VA Hub. So I guess the best advice that I can give to aspiring VAs who lack this skill is to discern if they really want this opportunity or not. Because
Yeah,
if you want something bad enough, you will work harder to get it. Or if you're being left instructions, I guess you already have that opportunity, so you will work hard to keep it.
yeah.
Um, and
And pursue
you know,
learning, I would suppose.
yes. And so if you want something bad enough, then you will work harder on it, and you won't get sloppy, and you will read the instructions twice all the time. So if you find that the instructions are really vague, then pinpoint which part of the instructions is vague, then clarify that particular part. But in in all, it's just that it's just you can't get sloppy when it comes to following instructions. It's just a matter of reading and understanding, right?
Yeah, that's so true. And this is not part of the question, but I just thought about it. What do you do whenever there are candidates who were invited for a particular interview and then they ghost out of you? What do you do?
They ghost out, meaning they don't
They don't
attend the
show up.
interview. They don't
Yeah,
show up.
yeah.
Um, well, we don't really put a red. we call it putting a red flag. So meaning that means that if you apply in the future, then you cannot um, then
You cannot
you
be
we won't
processed.
you cannot be processed anymore. So we don't really red flag them for not showing up. If they don't show up, then they don't get red flag. But we do take note of that, and when they apply the next time, we ask them why they did not why did not continue the first time. Because if they can't give a good enough excuse for that, then then that means that they wasted our time before, and so this them being processed then comes into question. So,
But through your experience, what are the most common answers that you receive whenever you ask them, why is it that from the first interview you didn't show up?
mm.
What do you think are
Most of the time it's because they were presented with a different opportunity, and we respect that.
mm,
We understand that there are other companies out
situations?
there, or they might have been given a better opportunity right off bat by maybe a previous employer, which is most likely the case. um, when we ask that question, it's more of because they were their last opportunity was their last company had given them another opportunity. So so we respect those.
But do you prefer that these people would give you a heads up rather than you were
We'd
expecting
rather.
them to be okay? That's why I mean this is very simple. To if you're going to look at it, it's very simple. But then again, there are a lot of people who
Mm,
does that, right? Let's
yeah.
just face the fact. So guys, if you're going to respect what we are doing, people will
Mhm.
also respect. Respect begets respect. So if you're not going to show that in our industry, of course, how do you expect people will also give that respect toward you? Respect of time is very important. No, these
Yes.
people are really giving and allocating their time for you because they need you in terms of they need to fill up positions. But if you're
Yeah.
not going to show the heart for it and you will just ghost out and you say, I don't want to do it tonight because I'm not in the
Mm,
mood, unless you have really a good reason for that. If it is an emergency thing, I think it will be
yeah.
understandable and acceptable. So just take
Yes.
note of this very tiny little things, but then again, it has a huge impact on your application because you're showing the type of personality and values you also have as a probably if they hire you, they might have a question, you might do this eventually. I mean, those are the things that can happen, right?
Yeah, and with the VA Hub in particular, we have a 3 month clearing period when it comes to reapplication. So, for example, you submitted your application today, and you decided I don't want to do it tonight. Maybe I'll do it next week. You can't do that because then you'd have to wait 3 months before you can
Mm.
process another application with us. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, so it's a missed opportunity. That's 3 months of not working. So
Yes.
that's
So you have to really think twice, as what LA said. You have to really discern if this is something you really want to do or not, or maybe this is just something that you want to do right now because you need money. That's what I always
mhm,
say. Never think of this opportunity as a patch on your need right now. I'll just do
mhm,
the virtual assistant or home based work right now because I don't have a work somewhere else. I just want to
mhm.
earn right now. It's not like that. We you have to dedicate and be committed to this. Okay, so please listen
Yeah.
to that and take note of that as well. All right, moving on. From your experience, whether well, we've already handled that, but you can answer it. I think
Mhm.
this is something that is also important. What are the common problems you encounter with applicants or candidates from VA Hub?
Yes, I also got the input from our senior recruiter on this because I wanted to know what their problems are when it comes to processing applicants. And
Mm-hmm.
the number one problem that they have is they don't do their research. So sometimes they don't even know what the job entails. Sometimes you find out they haven't even gone to check our website. I mean, what if this opportunity turns out to be a scam, right?
Exactly. Those
Those are
tiny little
pretty
things, right?
those are pretty basic stuff that you
Yeah.
need to check out. Just like with any company, if you were applying to them and your physical self will be there, you have to make sure that your security is that your place, that place is secure. So
Yes,
it
so
also, it's the
true.
same with working online. I mean, you're still going to be spending time there, so you have to make sure that it's not for naught. um some who
It's a
do get
legit
in.
company.
Yes, you have to make sure that it's legit. Some of the people who do get in the VA hub, another problem that we encounter is that they give up too easily. So what you have to understand
Yeah,
is
I
that
know why.
yes, this job is not. Most of the time they give up during the training period,
I
and
did not give up, just for the
you did not.
record.
Okay, which is good.
I have a missed I think because you have the grading system, right?
Hmm.
I didn't really fail, but I didn't
Uh-huh.
just reach the number that we're supposed to be asked or asked of us. So
Hmm.
that's the reason. And I accept that. I mean, I didn't rant on FB and say the VA hub is like this.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
Plus, it's very difficult for the trainers. If you don't reach that certain grade that we're looking for, they
Yes.
can't really manipulate it because it's very black and white during
Yes,
training.
certainly. And
And
it's
so if they,
understandable.
yeah.
It's understandable.
Hmm. So yeah, you just have to think of this job as a business. This is not for the
Yeah.
weak-willed. If you want to earn high, then you need to invest in it. It's not just with your hardware or with your skills, but with time as well. A lot of people,
Yes.
they say, "Oh, I've been waiting for a week now, and I haven't gotten hired yet." Um, and turns out they're new to the business. They haven't gone to a lot of interviews yet, and they're already giving up. It's just uh,
Patience is a virtue.
yeah, patience is a virtue, and you just have to understand
Yeah.
that just like in any
Yes.
business, you have to invest time. You have to find a way to make it grow.
Yes,
Have your
certainly.
skills grow, improve your interview skills, and things like that.
And that's the
And
same question I also received from the attendees that I
yeah,
had. They would always say, will if I attend the training, will there be an immediate job for them?
yeah.
Come on, guys. If I can do that, why would I even offer the training to you? I'll apply for all of this.
Right? They think that it falls on their lap. It doesn't work like that. Um,
Yes,
and
certainly
the I
not.
and the last and most problematic of the things that we get is the lack of integrity. So this is one of the core values of the VE Hub, and rightly so, because without this, you will have no value as a virtual assistant, since we all work online and we cannot assign a security guard to you to check your work, check your desktop, and to mark you. So you have
Okay.
to have integrity, right?
Can
Um,
you explain or define what integrity is? Let's be more for the others who are probably may not aware of the word. They know they they heard about it, but let's
you
just make
should
it
Google
more
it.
exactly. I mean, because it's different when it's
Mhm.
being explained. You know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not when you're working in an office. You have your
Hmm.
supervisor. This is what integrity is all
Yeah.
about, guys. You have a supervisor who can come into your workstation and see what you're doing. And when you know that your supervisor is coming in, you can remove your FB, right?
Yeah.
That's integrity. You know that you're cheating because you can actually see that someone will approach you. But in our case, in the virtual world, no one can
Mm.
really see what we're doing. It's just that
Yeah.
our clients will rely on your honesty and being your integrity if you're really working on your task or not at all. But in some companies, they have a team viewer that is
Yeah.
downloaded into your
Hmm.
laptop so they can actually see your screen. So mind you, this
Yeah.
thing they have their eyes on you. They can
Yeah.
see you. Okay. So I hope you understand now the meaning of integrity.
Yeah. To me, integrity is it's very simple. It's I have a simple definition for it. It's
Go for it.
doing the right thing even if nobody is looking. So
Corrected by. Exactly. You
it's
don't
just
need
that.
people to supervise you. In the office, you feel like someone is always biting
Yeah.
in your neck, right? You don't want that
Hmm.
people. So this is the way of being professional in what you do, being
Hmm.
you respect also what you do, and when you love what you do, you will actually do it with honesty and with that integrity. No, so you
Yeah.
don't have people to really watch over what you're doing. Just have to
Hmm.
ask if you need help, and if you think like you cannot do it, just ask for help. Okay. So
Yes.
now let's move on. What do you think candidates must have in order to become successful in applying through agencies similar to yours?
I think we skipped one question. I have here, are there any particular tools?
Sorry. You're
Okay.
very good. That's why I have these glasses. Okay, let's go to number five. Are there any
Okay.
particular tools or skills that you require from all of the candidates who apply to your agency?
Okay. So, simple answer, we do not require any prior knowledge of any tools, but if you have worked with real estate virtual assistant tools, such as particular CRM tools or
Mm,
dialers, that might have give you a slight edge once you start being interviewed by clients. We also prefer applicants who have background in sales, have been in the call center industry for a year or longer, or have background in marketing. However, this is not a deal breaker for us, which means if you are a newbie, you can apply, and we have successful virtual assistants right now who have started out as newbies. So
yes,
as for skills, the only one that we really require um, is to have good communication skills, because all of the accounts that we have at the VA Hub are voice accounts. So
mhm.
I'm saying that right now, live on Facebook.
So please take
Yeah.
note of that. Jot it down. It's a voice account. So meaning to say you
Yes.
have to do calls,
Yes.
because a lot of people would say, "Nah, it is
Yeah.
this non voice."
Yeah. It's not that you will always do calls. It's just the only thing it means is
Majority of
that,
it.
yeah, that means that clients are well within their rights to ask their VAs to do calls for them, even if this
Exactly.
is not a part of their initial JD for the virtual assistant.
Yeah, I think
So
that's a
yeah.
good point there that you mentioned. It's
Hmm.
not because this is the part of your role or as the JD that has been given to you. Sometimes there would be ad hoc. No, that
Yeah.
the meaning of ad hoc is tasks that it's not regularly that you will be doing, but from time to time your client may ask you to do this for them. If you're not
Hmm.
really into doing calls, maybe because the other one who's doing it is absent or not reporting
Hmm.
for work, maybe for an immediate reason someone has to be followed up, you have to do the call. So that's why you
Yeah.
have to have a good voice modulation. You can speak well
Hmm.
so that as a backup, I'm not saying you're a backup only, but at least you can do the role. I mean, you can do the part, right? So that's
Yes.
very important because that's always a question asked of me as well. Is it really a requirement to speak English, good
Yeah.
English? My answer is we're working with international clients.
Yeah.
So international clients speak what? What are they language? So you really have to express yourself well, clearly, so that they can
Hmm.
understand you. It's not a requirement that you speak like their
American.
twangs.
Yeah. To
Exactly.
have an American
Yes.
um, accent.
Accent.
What we require is actually just to have a neutral
Yeah.
accent so that the client and you could have a
Can,
conversation where
yes.
you won't need a translator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the clarity of what you're
Hmm.
saying, the message that you're sending across, at least both of you are in the same page, understanding each other. Because let's be honest, there's a language barrier already. Huh? When we try to copycat their accent, that's fine, or that's even great, but because
Hmm.
sometimes they want that. But at least with the client, if they really want to have you and they can see your potentials, they would really hire you as long as you can express yourself clearly with them. All right. Now, I'm on number six. Am I right?
Yes.
So, what do you think the candidates must have in order to become successful in applying through agencies similar to the VA Hub?
Yeah. So similar to the VA Hub, with all of VA agencies, they look for different things, but one thing that's constant is that you need to have the right equipment. They will always have a technical requirement, is what they call it, which
Mm,
is all of the tech that you're using. So the VA industry is very unique in having this as a requirement because you need to provide your own tech in order to start working from home.
Yes.
So yeah, you need to invest on that just as much as your skills, just as much as
Yes.
anything else. And don't underestimate the value of having a good working space because it helps with your overall productivity. And, it's just you can do the work better if you have the right technology for it. And then the rest
And
are fairly simple, good attitude, willing to learn, good communication skills, and again, have integrity.
yes,
Yeah.
that's a big check. And
Hmm.
others, they also think that probably this is the idea they have, they will apply even if they don't have a knowledge about the role or the JD that they are applying
Hmm.
to, because they're thinking a training will be provided to them not by the agency but sometimes the client.
Hmm.
I always clear that, it's not always that the client can provide the training for you. That's why
Yeah.
most of the time they look for someone who has the experience already because they don't have the time to train you. So that's why
Yes,
it's
that's true.
important you train yourself prior
Hmm.
to applying. Be aware, or not aware, be knowledgeable of some of the CRM tools. Not It's not the screwdriver as a tool or the pliers, that those are not the tools that we're looking for. These are software.
Yeah.
Okay, these are software that is immediately available. And once you Google it, what is CRM? Sometimes it will give you a list of the different types of CRM. It only depends on what your client will be using or is using. So
Yeah.
that's the challenge. Also, you may know some CRM tools, but clients doesn't use it. So again, it's another homework for you. Learn what other CRM tools that you can use, no? So familiarize yourself with it. So
Yeah.
do you have other things to add on that?
Yeah, so for the VA Hub, at least, what we do is we ask the clients what tools they're using, or
Yeah.
if they are using any tools, and we provide that to the VA ahead of time so that they can do the research even before they do the interview with the client. So
Perfect.
we give that opportunity to the VAs already for them to do their own research, but sometimes, they just don't do it.
The sad
Yeah,
face. Why didn't you
yeah,
do it? I thought
it's
you
already
will
there.
train me. Because that's what they're relying on. I thought I
Hmm.
will be trained. When you're a VA, you have to be resourceful. You
Hmm.
have to be proactive. So these are of qualities that you really have to embed into yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is: do you see a growth in this industry 3 to 5 years from now?
Oh yeah. Short answer for that is yes,
Wow,
because
with
there is a lot.
conviction.
Yeah, because there is a lot of room for growth. There
Exactly.
are a lot of small to medium businesses now that are opting to do a small scale outsourcing
And
instead
it's
of doing.
booming, right?
Yeah, definitely. Even professionals in other industries apart from real estate, where having a virtual assistant is already pretty established. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but in other industries as well, we see that professionals are already looking to get their assistants virtually.
Yes.
So, and in terms of in the Philippines, there are more and more Filipinos doing the switch because of their sheer stress from the daily commute and all the other reasons that I mentioned earlier.
And I think, you know what, we are very grateful for this opportunity. Why?
Mhm.
If you're going to look at amongst the Asian country, they will always choose Filipinos because of our tendency to adapt easily to, especially in terms of communicating. That I think is our advantage. So
Yeah.
if you have that, if you feel like you have it, flaunt it. So you just have to improve it. You just have to practice it so that before you attend or apply for a position with companies such as the VA Hub, you have an idea of how to answer questions, because these are common practices.
Yeah.
No, even if you apply somewhere else, you will have to submit your resume, attend an interview. So it's the same thing. Nothing changed. The only thing that changes here is the type of the standards. I think I would say LA, the
Hmm.
standards of all the hiring processes of what I've gone through. it's
Mhm.
more higher compared to the companies that we have in the Philippines if you're applying for a face-to-face thing. That's how that's how I can say my opinion as me as a candidate or an applicant. I feel like it's more higher in terms of the screening, in terms of the
Mhm.
vetting process, which I applaud because
It's more
certainly,
tedious. Yeah.
exactly, certainly
Yeah.
because I understand the reason for that, because you're going to work virtually on your own, and that's why
Yeah.
integrity comes in. So it all
The-
has a connection, huh?
yes, there are a lot more things to check for because you're not in the same place, and
Yes,
also they don't provide the tech um, for the employee, and so
yeah,
they have to check for they have a technical requirements, they have things like that.
yes. So please don't feel bad if you feel like you've been rejected. If the rejection is because of your internet is not really good, then try to
Mm.
improve your internet
Yeah,
connectivity, right? Because that's the only main problem that you keep hearing from the people you have been applying for. Come on, do something about it. There's no
sinabi na.
magic wand for that.
Yeah. If one company already told you, then it's highly likely that the rest will say the same thing.
You know
um
why? Because I feel like these candidates who doesn't have an idea, they feel like it's not going to be seen. Once you are asked for a screenshot, guys, the data will be seen if you're using a data. And it's also
mm,
gonna be seen, it will also show if you're using a LAN. So you
yeah.
cannot hide. You cannot hide from the reality and the facts, okay? So we know what the data looks like. And they know what it looks like when you're using a LAN, okay? So don't hide. All right, thank you. Do you have something to add about that?
No, all good.
Okay. What if someone does not have a VA experience? We've touched this a while ago. What do
Mhm.
you think they should do in order to keep up with the competition?
Start with a good attendance because nothing beats a good attendance. uh, and then I suggest as well to find your strength. That we've already covered this. Find your strength and interest and align that with the VA work. So if you are interested in, say, sales or marketing, then improve on that. Improve on your sales skills, on your marketing skills. There are a ton of resource online where you'd be able to do this on your own. However, within the VA Hub, we sort of level off the playing field for newbies and those with experience as well. So
That's
they
good to
because
me. That's good to hear, huh?
yeah,
That's good to hear.
it's because you all start out with a 2 week required training, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
after that, after graduating, your grades they are all displayed on your CV, which means it doesn't matter if you have the experience, if you do not have the good grades to back it up, then those with better grades, even if they are newbies, could have a better edge over you.
Okay, just to have a clarity for those who are listening,
Mhm.
what LA is saying that if you pass the interview process, that's the first step, right? You will submit your resume and then you will
Yeah,
be invited for an interview if they feel
interview.
like your resume is a okay. Now, if you
Yeah,
have passed the initial interview, you will be
then
invited
you'll go for
for a
training.
training, and then that training you will be given a week, I believe so, and then there would be a certain portion that you can be asked to stop if they feel like you will not reach the average that they're expecting of you, so you don't have to complete the entire
Yeah.
training anymore. But if you were able to pass the entire training, then you really have to pass the grading system that they have,
Mhm.
which will be added into your resume as your selling prowess or your USP, because the client would think you know very much of what you're going to be asked, especially for the task that they're going to assign you. So this would be your marketing or your sales talk, something that they can pitch you for particular clients that will match your skills. Again, it's always matching the skills, what you have, and what your prospect client would be needing. Okay,
Yes.
I know it by heart. All right, next one. Which is important to you? Well, you've mentioned it, attitude or skills, and why?
Okay, well, at first when I started um, having a managerial role within this industry, at least at first I thought that they are equally needed and are important, and of course at some point they will be important.
Yes.
But after encountering thousands of virtual assistants now, I have come to value good attitude with lesser skills rather than those with bad attitude and great skills. Because
Yes.
it's true what they say, it's easier to teach a person to improve their skills than to improve their attitude. So that's why.
That's so true. Even us, even I myself, when I was also handling the HR thing, I would also go for attitude. You know, being humble.
Yeah.
The one thing I hate is the arrogance. The arrogant candidates feeling I know it all. Okay, if you're like that, come on, guys, it's time to change your ways.
It doesn't. That's not even the part that bothers me the most. I mean, if you're arrogant, then that's fine. If you have the skills to
Mm,
back up your arrogance, then that's okay. But it's when you start becoming disrespectful towards other
yeah.
people, then that's
Yes,
definitely a
certainly.
no. Because
Yes.
a lot of people have worked to get you to where you are.
Mm,
So it's not just with your own skills and with your own whatever. At some point, somebody taught you something for you to get to where
yeah.
you are. And so
And
that's
where
why
will
you
it
can't be
bring you? I
disrespectful.
mean,
Yeah.
where will it bring you, right? It's
Yeah.
just an equivalent of not having a job after that. So don't do
Yeah.
that. I mean, yes, there might be some time that we need to fight for our rights, but
Mhm.
you have to weigh it also. You have to weigh things. Is this company being unfair to me? Then probably you can go to the right channel, discuss it, and open
Mhm.
it up, and probably fix things will be fixed as long as you communicate it clearly. Okay, so don't go to FB and rant it out.
and and if if you really want to air out or say something about whatever, there the there will always be people who are willing to listen to you, so you don't
Yeah,
have to go and disrespect other people. Just say that
yes,
you don't agree with some things and why you disagree on that, because at
yeah,
some point, I don't know what happens with other companies, but at least with us, we discuss those things and what the merit of whatever that VA is saying. Some of the people who side with what the VA is thinking, will voice it out as well, and
mm,
those who don't agree with the VA, then we voice that out as well, and we see the merit of both. So what I'm trying to say is you will be given a platform to say those
yeah.
things. So,
You just have to reach out to the right channel. That's as
hmm
simple as that. Voice it out to the right people. If you're voicing it out to the janitor cannot help you out. I mean, I'm not saying that that person, it's not about the positioning, but of course, the person you're parking at the wrong tree. So you have to really just go through the right channels. So last of our question, yay!
yeah.
What advice can you give to aspiring and experienced VAs? No, that it's not just about aspiring ones, the experienced ones like me who wants to last or who want to last and become successful in this career.
hmm the best advice that I can give you, I guess, is to give it your all. I was gonna say start by giving it your all, but if you've been doing this for a while, then just give it your all. When I started my VA career 5 years ago, I did not start it out by having a fallback. I went for it saying, in my head, I said that I will make this work. I will make this work. If it doesn't work with this company, I'll go to a different company. I'll go to whatever, but I will invest on this. I will invest it with the technology that I have. I will invest on my skills, the time that I'm going to put in. Um, and just, you have to give it your all. You can't say that if it doesn't work out today, then tomorrow I'll do something else. I don't know.
I'll go and
uh,
sell some pagita somewhere
yeah,
else.
I'll sell something, or
Yeah.
I'll work in a different industry. If you have that kind of mindset, then maybe this isn't for you, because
Yes.
you have to be committed when it comes to, if you want to be a virtual assistant, you have to start with being committed to that role.
And you
That's
have to
what you
be
want to do.
focused on what you want.
Yeah.
You have to have that goal. That's what I
Mhm.
always say to all to the attendees who attends our training. it's not because you want it. You will just get it immediately or acquire it immediately. You really have to work hard for it, and not everybody. Not in
Mhm.
my case, I did not have this position in a snap. I
Mhm.
also gone through a lot of rejections and failure. But then again, it did not stop me. It challenged me more because there's something wrong with what I do. So I figured it out. Okay, this is what is wrong, and I improved that. So if I fail, just stand up and
Mhm.
go ahead and look for it. I mean, you would really see that eventually, unless you're the type of a person. I don't want to do this anymore because this is not for me. You're the
Yeah.
crybaby.
Like I
So
said,
I
it's not for the weak-willed. Is it?
Yes,
It
exactly.
really
That's
is
the right
for
word.
the people.
Yeah.
For
Fight for your future. That's what I want to say. So let's now read some of the comments here.
hmm
I find this interesting. Yvette Lian Barbie Joy. Her comment is, I hope to join the VA Hub. And then there's one comment after her, Kimi Sanchez. Is the VA Hub an agency? Answer it, LA, if you want to.
Ayun. I guess you could go through Google, but since I'm already here, I'll tell you that it is. We've been talking about it for over an hour, and yes, we are a virtual assistant
You made me
agency.
laugh, Kimi. The VA Hub is one of the partner agencies of our community. So they are hiring qualified VAs for real estate clients that they have. And if you want to work with them, again, number one thing that you have to do your homework and research the
Yeah.
companies that you want to apply for. Okay, Grisel G and Zay or Say, I so agree with you. Good attitude first.
hmm
Okay, they just shared it. So those are the comments, and we have about a while ago we have 100, but sometimes once we end
hmm
this, you will see the
Yeah.
total number is different from this one. So with that being said, we will be having and we will be meeting with LA on March 21st. That's the VA Ready Expo, guys. They were
Yes.
the last one to really
Yeah.
join us, and I'm very
Buzzer beater.
thankful they did. Because I've been approaching them. I think you saw my message too in your
hmm
messenger. So we moved it from Feb 29th to March 21,
hmm
2020. This is also a Saturday because of the NCOV
Yeah.
situation. Had it been not, this is already on Saturday,
Yeah.
no? But then again, we expect that the attendees will really have a wonderful session throughout the day because there are a lot of partners that we have there, and one of them is the VA Hub. You can ask them questions during the break, and they will also have presentation of their company. Why do they hire VA, and what kind of clientele do they also have? If this is something that you really want to do, you have to work hard for it. You have to put your heart on this, invest your time, invest on learning, and you will reap your reward after a while. So again, I'd like
Yes.
to thank LA for joining me tonight. LA, you can say something if you want to. You might want to invite others to apply to your agency.
Yes, if you want to apply at the VA Hub, you can just go to the vahub.org/contact or just the vahub.org, and then on the upper right corner, you'll see there apply now. Click on that, and then fill out the form, and just click on submit, and that's about it. Because that's the most common question that we get. How do we apply? Or simply how question mark.
Interested po. Oh,
Yeah.
this is so annoying for me. They will even send me PM, then the
Yeah.
entire message is just how.
Yeah.
That's it. As if
How?
as if I am Madam Auring. What are you referring to? So guys, you have to really be smart, no? Be smart and be intelligent in the way of you ask questions because you're dealing with people who will give you the opportunity for work, no? So be smart and ask the right questions. If
Yeah.
you feel like this is the company you want to work with, look at their values, look at their website. Who are they? Oh, I like the CSR because I love helping people. So at least you incorporate yourself with whatever you see from the agencies or the companies. And these are the legit companies I'm bringing into your table. So at least you know from the community we are partnering with the legit companies, and you don't have to be afraid or fear that am I working with a scammer or
Yeah.
something? They are legit, guys, and I'm guaranteeing you that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, LA. I hope to see you on March 21, God willing. So that's the VA
Yes.
Ready Expo, guys. Take note. It's already March. Come on. Thank you. And uh, no more. You have nothing else to add for that. We're going to end our FB
Yep,
vidcast.
that's
Thank you.
about it. Thank you so much. And yes, I
Thank
will be
you.
there on March 21. I hope to see everyone there. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much and good evening, everyone. Bye bye.